Alright, what's up guys? This is Colby Cheese and we're watching another episode of How to Not Win at League of Legends. Now this is a game that I'm actually spectating. It's a match of my brothers, I believe, and this is around the gold 5-ish area. Now, I'm not going to focus too much on the early game here. I'm just going to do my intro showing off some of the lanes, and you can see what the matchups here are. And Lucian already has 3 kills. I don't really want to focus on a lot of the laning phase stuff because a lot of that is just mechanics, and that almost would warrant an individual video. But I want to talk about why this game was lost and what team fights led up to that eventual loss. And so you guys can kind of learn from the mistakes of these players, which may or may not be around your elo. And you may think, man, these guys are just trash because you're watching the mistakes that they make. But these are the same mistakes that you make, and maybe you just don't realize it. Same mistakes that even I've made, you know, and I just don't want to admit it. And so my idea with this video here is to just show you guys what it is that you need to do to improve, what things you should be aware of when you're playing the game. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and let's take a look at something that's going on here. I do want to talk about one thing here in regards to the laning phase. So you take a look. Okay, so I want to show you something here real quick. The Rengar is actually doing pretty decent. He's keeping up with Darius, but Darius is a very hard lane. Now what he did was he went back and he bought a bone tooth necklace. Now in the laning phase, this is going to put you pretty far behind. And what the problem is with this is that you can no longer win your trades. Like, he's been winning trades against this Darius, but now that he has a bone tooth necklace, he has none of that early game strength that he had before, and he's going to start losing these trades to the Darius. Now let's speed it up and you'll see what happens here. This Darius begins to win these trades. Now he has to waste his ultimate. And so what happens here is he's forced to wait at the turret to get the CS, but instead of doing that, what he does is he comes up here and he gets flashed on. The Darius comes up and he's going to pull him back in, get the ignite, and take the kill. Now that's going to allow the Darius to basically win this lane straight up. He's going to lose all that CS, and so that's something to think about. When you're in a top lane or any lane, you start losing, you might have to start building a more defensive or even a more offensive item rather than something weak like the bone tooth. That's kind of more specific, but I just wanted to show that off. Now we're going to step up into about the 13-minute mark. Now, obviously, he's died here once in lane. He's a little bit behind the Darius, but not enough to really just completely lose lane. He can farm safely here until he gets his next item built up. But here's what happens here. Let's slow it down. We have a gank coming in from Lee Sin. Schematic Tarek's already really low, and he kicks him into him, giving Darius the free kill there. Now, after that, he comes back in here, continues to fight the guy, and chases him in, but he's not strong enough to continue the fight, ends up giving him a double kill, basically losing the lane for this, for this Rengar. Whereas Rengar, without Lee Sin's help, could have been just fine. What Lee Sin needed to do was continue to engage on the Darius and not kick him into the turret where his teammate was already extremely low. So that was just a big mistake on his part. Now, just to update here a little bit, we're at about 19 minutes, and you'll notice that the game is not extremely far behind. Now, obviously, just a double kill down here. I'm not too worried about how that happened, but I do want to mention the fact that they are still fairly even, so the game is definitely not lost at this point. They have a very good chance of winning. Some of the lanes are pretty strong. Obviously, the Darius has lots of kills, and he took 2 turrets up top. But that's because the Rengar actually made a good choice. He wasn't able to do anything in top lane, so he roamed down bottom. They were able to pick up a few kills. Now, they did stay a little bit too long, and they lost a few people, and they weren't able to pick up the turret, so they did lose these 2. Probably not worth it in the end, but they did grab a dragon, and they're at least hanging in on the game there so far. Now I want to jump forward just a little bit more over to the 20-minute mark, and we have a team fight here happening. And so overall, both teams play kind of okay. Seems like blue was a little bit over aggressive, and red team was able to capitalize on that just a little bit, pick up a few kills here. Now at this point in the game, I actually realized that some of the builds here that they've got are actually not what I was expecting them to do. So since they've got 2 really squishy, high damage dealing champions, they've got Tristana and they got Ezreal, I was kind of expecting either Rengar or Lee Sin to build tanky, but instead everyone on the team is building fully offensive, and so rather than actually building for a, for a team that has good support in team fights where they can have a front line with Rengar tanking or with Lee Sin tanking, they just have everyone doing massive damage, so they're relying on just doing straight up damage. Now this can work for sure, but overall you really need at least 1 or 2 people on your team to build in such a way that they can just sit there and soak up damage and peel for your high damage dealing champions. And this may be an opinion of mine, but honestly, if you take a look at teams that are winning consistently, it's the ones that have that balanced out in such a way that they do have that front line that can soak up the damage while the back line sits there and does work consistently. Now we're moving on here into about 22, 23 minutes, and you see that Rengar, now that the Darius has been roaming around grouping with his team, Rengar is actually free to get some farm here in the top lane, and Rengar is one of the best turret killers in the game, so he's able to pick up 2 turrets here in the span of time. Now they obviously had already lost this turret over here, and as long as they can hold the lane here, and since they have a lot of range, they should have the ability to do so, and as you see, they do hold them off, and Rengar is able to pick up another turret here, so he's doing a really good job. They are quite a bit behind now from when you last saw, but these 2 turrets have definitely evened the game up just a little bit more. Now, Rengar may be staying here a little bit late, but he is looking on the minimap probably and sees, okay, well, they've got a lot of their team up there in the top, so I have time to sit here and attack this Leona. Unfortunately, she is quite a bit tanky. She misses her ultimate, but there is the AD. He's able to come back. He at least trades a kill. He gets the Leona, so it's 1 for 1, and they get 2 turrets for it. Not the worst, but you'll see that they are extremely close still, and there is no real clear winner. No one's lost the inhibitor yet, so the game is definitely up for grabs for either team, whoever makes the best plays going forward. Okay, guys, so we're about the 24.5-minute mark, and this is where the game actually starts. You start to see some really game-breaking decisions being made. Since, like I said, we are pretty even up to this point, and you're about to see a fight that really starts to change the course of how this game is played. And I don't know if it's the morale that's hit from this next play that's about to happen, but here's what happens. Lee Sin jumps in, and you'll notice, first off, Lee Sin, he hits a Q, and he's like, okay, I can jump in instantly. But what he does is he jumps in without full vision of anywhere in their jungle, and he's jumping in to their jungle. Now you can see that the Leona is over here. Tristana is not really anywhere close, and the rest of the team, we've got Rengar up here. He's not even ready for a fight to happen. You've got Ezreal farming in the jungle, and Blitzcrank not even close either. So there's no way they can catch up, whereas you're all the way up in the enemy jungle. So let's go ahead and unpause the game and see how this plays out. So he's going to start fighting this. He does the little insect move, which is generally okay, but no one is there to clean this up. Now here's the next bad play that happens. Tristana, once again, no one is really in position for this fight to happen. Tristana uses her large cooldown to jump over the wall into the entire enemy team, rather than just attacking from the other side of the wall safely. Now what happens, Zara uses her ultimate to defend herself. She's going to get a nice easy kill onto Lee Sin. Tristana can literally do nothing here at this point. And so she's instantly killed before doing anything useful. Now, the initial target still has not died yet. Blitz finally gets there, and he's trying to get the kill. Luckily, Ezreal finally shows up. He does grab a kill, but here's what's about to happen. The exhaust goes down. Blitz is going to easily get taken out. There's a triple kill they've already given up. And boom, Zac is able to follow up and do a little bit of damage here. Rengar comes in to try and salvage the situation. He sees that Mezzi is a little bit low, but you know, Ezreal's already moved out of the fight. He's ready to run away. And so now that he comes back, he's like, oh, see, my friend wants to fight, but that's the quadra kill, because overall, that team fight was started by Lee Sin, and everyone followed up one by one, completely split up, and that overall, you know, if Tristana had waited, she didn't jump in like that, she could have been attacking from the back line and done a lot of damage. Everyone could have showed up, potentially salvaged that fight, maybe at least gone even, but overall, just extremely bad decision making on where to engage and when to engage with none of your teammates around, caused that huge quadra kill and put them just a little bit further behind. But the game is still not over yet, and they still have pretty decent chance of winning. So let's move forward to the next critical event. Okay, so we're coming up on to 29-minute mark. We're just a little bit behind here, but they're still okay. They have a really strong team, and they have the potential to really make some plays. So this is the next fight where something goes really bad. You'll notice that everyone is actually grouped in this position, so it's a good spot to actually have a team fight ready to go. Blitz comes up, looking for the pick. Now, unfortunately, he grabs Zac. That's not who we want to engage on, but nobody really makes a bad decision of going into him. Now, let's pause the game right here, and you'll see what happens here. Zara throws down her plants and her ultimate, creating a nasty zone and causing this Blitz to be a little bit out of position. Lee Sin goes in, but I don't think he had a chance. He had already gone in by the time those plants go down. This is fine. All they have to do, kill these plants off and continue to engage. But here's what happens. The engage happens. They're doing lots of damage to this Zyra. They're trying to do work on her, but they're getting killed by the enemy team. Now, this whole time, this Tristana is sitting here getting attacked by these plants. Nobody's doing anything in the back line. They're just freaking out. They need to be attacking these plants. These plants literally single-handedly take out this Tristana. Look at this. She does absolutely nothing this entire fight but dies to plants. While their backline does nothing. They're just running around with their you know, like chickens with their heads cut off. And that causes them to lose this fight. So this Tristana dies right away. Boom, there's a double kill for them. And pretty much the fight's lost at this point. All they had to do was kill those plants off and keep on engaging. They had the fight strong there. They could have been pretty well off. But he gets out of there. He's going to be okay. They've lost 2 people here. And Zyra is still being worked on by this Lee Sin. Look at this. I mean, they still had that fight. If they had just decided to continue that engage. But there we go. Lee Sin finally goes down. So that's 3 for nothing trade. Luckily, the Rengar gets away. Uses the exhaust there. But they might actually lose this inhibitor here. Once you lose the inhibitor, your chances of winning decrease dramatically. Because you lose all kinds of map control. And it's extremely difficult to push out your lanes. So overall, just extremely bad decisions in that team fight that I wanted to point out. Okay, guys. We're coming up on the 3rd 2-minute mark. And we're right around the area where we see the fight that ends the game. And honestly, the game is not even over yet. All they need to do is group up. They've got a really nice back line with Tristana and with Ezreal. They've got good peel with the with the Blitzcrank here. And the Rengar has tons of damage he can just straight up take out their Lucian or whatever he wants to do. We've got Lee Sin. So they've got a lot of options for winning team fights here. But here's what happens. We've got Blitz up here just defending the top lane. He's going to do a little bit of poke here. They've got enough vision to see that Leona's over in this area. And they've seen that, all that's happening. Now, he shoved out the lane. He should not be pushing out on his own right here. This is where everyone needs to be grouped. You can see that everyone is in this area right here. Because you know that there are at least going to be a group. Look, there's 3 there. You know there's probably another one. So you got Lucian here, 3 of them here. And we've got a little bit of a split going on right now. Now, if they can get this kill right here, that might be okay. But since he jukes out, they probably should back off right now. Right now, they are playing completely what you would call a tunnel vision fight here. He's already escaped, and they run straight into the enemy team, which are obviously there. They knew it, because they were already fighting there. And instead of staying with the team, everyone is ungrouped right here. We've got two of the allies right here, not even able to help out in this situation. And right there, Ezreal gets caught, completely out of position. He gets shut down. Lee Sin now completely caught out of position. He gets shut down. Luckily, the Rengar is actually able to do his job, which is get in there and instantly kill Lucian, which is what would have happened regardless of any fight happening. Bunch of damage comes in. Zyra's able to clean up. She's going to take them out. There goes the Blitz. There's the double kill for Rengar. He did a lot of work in that fight there. Unfortunately, with that Ezreal getting caught out, that's a triple kill for the really, really fed Darius. And there's just no way that this AP Tristana is going to be able to hold off the rest of the people in this game. And there's the ace, and that's the game. So overall, 3 really, really bad decision making by the ADs in this game. Just bad positioning and bad calls on not grouping up properly and engaging in the right situation caused the loss of this game. So hopefully you guys learned something, and you can try and think more critically about the decision making that you make with your games and when to engage and watching your allies and knowing when to group up properly. Anyways, I'll see you around for the next one, guys. This is Colby Cheese. Peace out.